Hi, it's Nørgaard, and today I'm doing part 2 of my decluttering series. So if you didn't see part 1 that went up yesterday, I will link it in my down bar. But basically yesterday I decluttered all my lip makeup, and today I'm going to do all my face makeup, so let's get right into it. So I'm starting on the top of my drawer, and on here I have all my makeup setting sprays. So these two are by e.l.f. Really like both of them. I have two by NYX that I also really like. They are almost empty, both of them, but I'm going to use them completely up. Then I have this City Color setting spray, also like this one, and I have this Essence one that I just started using, but so far so good. Then here in the back I have a Maybelline setting spray and a L'Oreal setting spray. I like both of these. Then I have this BH Cosmetics setting spray, and I really don't like this. I tried it out I think 2 times, and it made my makeup feel so stiff. I really didn't like this, so this one I'm getting rid of. Then I got some Smashbox primer water, which I love, and I have this e.l.f. mineral mist, which I also love, and I have this La Roche-Posay water that I'm also going to keep. Okay, so now we are getting into each compartment in my drawer, and in the first one I have primers. And as you can see, I'm kind of a primer hoarder, to be honest. Face makeup is my favorite kind of makeup, so I have a lot of this. So let's take a look. Here in the back I have kind of like illuminating primers, which I personally don't use that much because I have oily skin. I have this one by W7 that I'm actually going to get rid of. It's not a bad primer, but it's very thin in consistency, so it takes me a little bit longer to apply. And just for that fact, that means I never reach for this, combined with the fact that it is a more glowy primer. So I'm getting rid of this one. I have this illuminating BB cream by Cosmetics. I do like this. I use this occasionally. I also have this one by L'Oreal that I also use occasionally. Then I have this one by Rimmel, which is also a glowy primer. I haven't used this very much, but I think I'm going to try it some more, so I'm going to keep it. And then finally in here I have the Nivea Men Aftershave Balm, and this was super popular on YouTube sometime last year, and I think everyone stopped using it. I think that there is like a problem with it, I think. So I'm not quite sure about that. I do like it as a primer. The only thing is that I have to wait a little bit longer after putting on my moisturizer, because if I apply this one straight after I have applied my face cream, then it kind of crumbles on my face. But for now I'm going to keep that also, because it really makes my makeup last all freaking day. So in these two compartments right here I have my regular face primers. So I have this anti-redness one that I really like. I also have this Stay Matte one by Rimmel. This one is a little bit tricky to use because it doesn't work underneath all my foundations. It works well with my Rimmel Stay Matte foundation, but I have had some troubles with it underneath other foundations, but for now I'm going to keep it. Then I have this beautifying primer by Catrice. I love this stuff, it's great. Then I have these 3 primers by W7. I'm kind of thinking of getting rid of these 2 because even though they are colored, they really don't show up very much on the skin. Like, I find that they do very little color correcting. So I think I'm just going to keep this one, and I'm going to get rid of the 2 colored ones, the green and the purple. I have my Smashbox Photo Finish Primer, love this stuff. Then I have this e.l.f. Hydrating Face Primer, and this is actually pretty good. You know, it's great if you have dry skin. And even on my oily skin I do still use this because sometimes I want that fresh dewy look. And finally I have the e.l.f. SPF 20 face primer. This is by no means my most favorite primer. It doesn't really do much, I would say, but I do like that it has SPF, so I'm going to keep it for you know, the summer is coming up, so I'm going to keep it. So let's go through the primers over here. I have this one by Catrice, the smoothing refiner, like this one. I have the e.l.f. poreless face primer. This is so good. Also have the Maybelline Baby Skin, like this. I have the Wet n Wild Cover All primer. I also like this. I have another favorite of mine, the Smashbox Pore Minimizing Photo Finish primer. Then I have the Catrice Pore Refining primer, also really like this. And I have the regular e.l.f. Mineral Face Primer. This is so good. I have the W7 Porefection primer, like this. And finally I have the Garnier 5 Second Blur primer. And I also really like this. So over in the compartment right here I have travel size primers. So I just have 4 and I'm going to keep all 4. So I have this little one by Too Faced that I really like, and then I have 3 by Makeup Forever that I also really like. And then over here I have all my under eye primers. Speckled by Laura Geller is one of my favorites. Another favorite is the Smashbox under eye primer. Yet another favorite, which is the e.l.f. under eye primer. Then I have the Revlon Photo Ready eye primer and brightener. Don't like this very much. I'm going to get rid of this. I also have the e.l.f. Wrinkle Refiner. I don't really like this, so I'm getting rid of it. Then I have the Glow Minerals on eye primer that I also like. I don't love it like I do my other 3 on eye primers, but it's decent. And finally I have this one by Duwop. And I don't really like this, so I'm getting rid of it. So that was all my primers. Okay, so this is my foundation drawer, and as you can see, I have quite a thing for foundations. Foundation is my #1 favorite makeup product, so I do have a lot. So it's kind of chaotic, so I'm just going to start somewhere and we're going to work our way through this. So I have this Infallible Matte Foundation by L'Oreal. It's as good as empty, so I'm going to throw this one out. I have these 2 Dermablend foundations that I actually really like. I don't reach for them as often as I should, but I really like them, so I'm going to keep these 2. Then I have this kind of beaten up foundation stick by Primark. I don't really love this a lot. The texture on this foundation stick isn't the best. It's kind of greasy, and it kind of separates if I'm not really careful with how I blend it out. I do have quite a bit left, but I think I'm going to keep this just because I can use it in conjunction with my Clinique Chubby in the Nude foundation stick. And that's how I have been using it, so I'm going to keep both of these, but I would not recommend this. The Clinique foundation stick, on the other hand, is really good. Then I have this e.l.f. foundation palette. Again, I kind of have the same problem with this. It's kind of greasy, and therefore it doesn't last that well on my skin, but it's not absolutely terrible. And I like that there are so many colors in here, so I am going to keep it. Then I have these little sticks by e.l.f. These are called the All Over Cover Sticks. And you guys might not believe this, but these are actually bomb. These are a little bit on the greasy side, but they're not as bad as the foundation palette or the Primark foundation stick. And the coverage is really good on these ones. And I'm going to keep all 3 because then I can mix and match. Then I have this Essence Mousse Foundation. As you can see, I have not used this one yet, so I don't know how it is. It's still in the testing phase. I also have this Mousse Foundation by W7, and I don't use this a lot because I find it to be a little bit too dark for me. But actually I'm going to keep this. The summer months are coming up, so hopefully I can wear this. So I have this Camouflage Foundation by Essence. Just bought this, going to keep it. So far I really like it. I also have my L'Oreal True Match that I really like. I have Maybelline Fit Me. This is so good. Then I have this L'Oreal Lumi foundation. As you can see, this is dark, dark, dark. But I use this to blend in with my very pale foundations. And it's quite good, so I'm going to keep that. And yes, I don't know where the lid to this one went. Then I have the dewy versions of the Maybelline Fit Me. I do really like these, but I'm probably not going to wear these that much during the summer because I get even more oily in the summertime. But regardless, I'm going to keep both of these. Then I have this Genius foundation by W7. I don't like this. I don't like the coverage, and I really don't like the undertone. The undertone is kind of gray, believe it or not, so I'm getting rid of this. I also have this BH Cosmetics liquid foundation, and I'm actually also going to get rid of this one. It's actually not a terrible foundation, but it's only kind of a medium coverage, and it doesn't blend super easily, and the color is not right for me, so for those reasons, I'm going to get rid of it. Then I have this e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation, and I'm going to keep this. I also have this Makeup Revolution The Matte Effect Foundation. This is a decent foundation. I think I'm going to keep it for now. Then you guys, I have this LA Colors Liquid Makeup in the color Natural, it's called. And I have never used this. I haven't even used it once. I bought this for like $1 online, and I don't know about this, you guys. I have heard really terrible things about this. I've heard that it oxidizes and the coverage is close to non-existent. And I have a lot of other foundations that I do like. And also the color. Can you guys see the color? That's not my color. So I think I'm just going to get rid of this. Then I have 3 of the Rimmel Stay Matte foundations. I'm going to keep all 3. This is one of my all-time favorite foundations. I also have this MAC foundation that I'm going to keep. I have the Rimmel Wake Me Up. This is a great foundation, going to keep this. I have 2 of the Dream Velvet foundations by Maybelline. These are okay, they're not as good as the Rimmel by any means. The coverage is not as good, they don't stay as matte as the Rimmel. And also they are a bit more difficult to blend out. But I'm still going to keep them because they are decent. Then I have the Rimmel Lasting Finish, love this. I have the Revlon Color Stay that I also love. I have this one by Marc Jacobs that I love. And finally I have this one by Estee Lauder that I also love. So in the back here I have all my tinted moisturizers and BB creams. And I reached for this like never. I never wear light coverage foundations or BB creams or tinted moisturizers. I have this matte BB cream by Rimmel. This is actually pretty decent. The coverage is pretty good. So I'm going to keep this one. I also have the regular version of Rimmel's BB cream. I'm going to keep this. I don't know if I have ever used this, so I'm going to keep it and try it out. I've heard some good things about it. Then I have 3 foundations by Natural Collection. These are whoa, I just don't reach for these, so I'm going to get rid of all 3. Then I have this New York Color BB cream in the matte version. I don't like this at all. It separates on my skin. Going to get rid of this. I have this little tiny Estee Lauder BB cream sample that I'm going to keep. Then I have 2 Garnier BB creams. So I'm going to keep these. These are pretty decent BB creams. Then I have this Wet n Wild tinted moisturizer. This has like no coverage. I'm going to get rid of this. I also have this e.l.f. tinted moisturizer. This is pretty decent, and I have actually almost used this up. So I'm going to get rid of it because there's not a lot left and it's pretty old by now. And then finally I have this e.l.f. BB cream, and again I haven't used this and it looks kind of dark, but for now I'm going to keep it and I'm going to try it out. Okay, so I have kind of put my matte and high coverage foundations in the back. Then I have put more of my dewy or just kind of satin finish foundations over here. Then I have put foundations that I don't use that much and my BB creams over here. Then I have my mousse foundations over here and my stick foundations and my foundation palette over here. Okay, so now we are moving on to concealers. So let's start in the back where I have my cream and stick concealers. So I have this Cover Stick by W7. This is actually a pretty decent cover stick. The problem is that I just never used cover sticks because I always use full coverage foundations. So I only use my concealers to highlight with. And this is simply too thick and not the right color for me to highlight with, so I'm going to get rid of this. I also have this Primark concealer, and this is probably the worst concealer in the world. It is basically like a crayon. It is so bad. It smells so terrible. It is so incredibly greasy, and the coverage is not there, and it doesn't look nice, it separates, it's so horrible. I don't like this at all. I also have a concealer stick by e.l.f. Can you guys see this color? The color is so weird. I don't like this. It doesn't cover much at all either, so I'm going to get rid of that. So then I have this one by Dermablend, and this one is actually pretty decent. This is a good cover stick. The only problem is that it is a little bit kind of dark for me, just a tiny bit, but it's good and I'm going to keep it. And I also have this little concealer pencil that came with my Hard Candy Glamouflage concealer, and I'm going to keep this because I think I can find some use for this. Then over here I have my Bobbi Brown Creamy Concealer Kit. So it contains a concealer and a powder. And I mean, this is pretty decent, but I would not repurchase. I think it's overhyped. I mean, the concealer is pretty good, but I have a lot of other concealers that I like more and that are not as costly as this one. And also the powder, I don't know, it's not a bad powder, but it's not my favorite powder either. But it is Bobbi Brown and it was expensive, so I'm going to try and get my money's worth and use this one up. I also have this Go Concealer by W7. This is actually really good. It's a great dupe for the Bobbi Brown one. I'm going to keep this. Then I have this Natural Collection Concealer. Oh my god, this is a mess. It's actually not Primark horrible at all. It's not that bad, but it's not great either. And as I said, I just don't tend to reach for these kind of stick concealers, so I'm going to get rid of this one. And finally, for the stick concealers, I have the Rimmel Hide the Blemish, and I have actually not used this one. I have tried this concealer before and I do like it. And actually I saw someone on YouTube the other day, I don't remember who it was, but I saw someone use this as a highlighting concealer and it looked really good, so I'm going to try that. And hopefully it's not going to be too thick and cakey for my under eyes. Okay, so in here I have kind of my more light coverage concealers, and over here I have more of my full coverage concealers. So I have this Natural Collection Cover Up Cream. I'm going to get rid of this one just because it separates. I don't know why so much face makeup separates on my face, and it's just a huge pet peeve of mine. I hate when that happens. I recently got this concealer by Essence, so I still need to try it out some more. So far I'm not the biggest fan. It kind of oxidized a lot. I have this NYX HD concealer, and this one is so old, I'm just going to get rid of it. I also have this e.l.f. concealer. Again, this is so old and it's not really good, so I'm going to get rid of that. I also have this Rimmel Wake Me Up concealer. I think I'm going to keep this one for now. It's on the lighter side when it comes to coverage, but I like everything else about it, so I'm going to keep it. Then I have this Technique Color Fix concealer. Don't like this, it gotta go. I have another Technique concealer, which unfortunately was also a dot, so I'm getting rid of this. And apparently another e.l.f. concealer that I'm also getting rid of. So Naked Skin, you guys already know I love this one. Hard Candy Glamouflage, another favorite. I'm trying out this Essence concealer. So far so good. This is pretty decent. I have this Maybelline Instant Age Rewind that I really love. I have this Maximum Coverage Concealer by e.l.f. and this is not maximum coverage, I will just say that straight off the bat, but it is pretty good coverage and I'm going to keep it. Then I have this Essence All About Matte concealer. I love this. I have two of the LA Girl Pro Conceal. I'm going to keep this one called Porcelain. I love this one. This one called Classic Ivory I'm going to get rid of. I don't like the color. Then I have a MAC Pro Longwear This one is almost empty, so I'm going to try and see if I can use this one up. And then when I go to either London or New York, I can use this in Back to Mac, because for some reason we don't have Back to Mac in Denmark. I also have the Maybelline Fit Me. Oh my god, this brings back memories. I used to be obsessed with this concealer. This one is so good. But unfortunately this one is kind of old, so I think I'm going to get rid of it, and I should probably go ahead and pick up a new one. Then I have the e.l.f. HD Lifting Concealer. This one is pretty good. And finally I have the Collection Lasting Perfection Concealer. And I had heard so many good things about this, and that was why I got it. But to be honest, it's not my favorite, because unfortunately I have kind of watery eyes. And for some reason this concealer just does not work well with that. So when my eyes start to water, this just disappears even when I set it. And I have some other concealers that does that as well, but none of them do it as bad as this one. So I'm going to get rid of this one. So out here I have kind of contour concealers and correctors. So I have the neutralizing Maybelline Instant Age Rewind that I'm going to keep. I have this dark LA Girl Pro concealer that I love. I'm going to keep this. I also have the orange corrector. I'm going to keep this. The way I use this is I mix it in with a regular concealer to make it lighter. So it matches my skin tone better. I have this NYX HD concealer in yellow. This is not terrible, but it is old, and it's not the best concealer in the world. So I'm going to get rid of this. Then I have two contour and highlighting sticks, one by Wet n Wild and one by NYX. I really like both of these. And I also have this W7 stick concealer in the color medium deep, so this is too dark for me. I think I'm going to get rid of this one. I also have another e.l.f. all over cover stick. This one is in the color Spice, so it's darker than my actual skin tone. I'm going to get rid of this one because I have some other ones, other cream contours that I like better. I don't really like the color of this one very much, so I'm going to get rid of this one. And finally I have this green concealer by Natural Collection. I don't use this much because I don't use green concealer much, but I actually really like this and I'm going to keep it. Okay, so this is how I have it organized now. I have kind of lighter coverage concealers, my high coverage concealers. Then in here I have my kind of cover sticks. Over here I have my cream concealers that I'm going to try and use for highlights. And over here I have correctors and contours. Okay, so now we are moving on to powder. So basically the way I have it set up right now is that I have colored, like very lightly colored powders in here, translucent powders in here, colored loose powders in here, colored pressed powders over here, and under eye powders over here. So let's start with these ones. So I have this powder by e.l.f. I don't like this because it's too yellow on my skin. It can look kind of like curry. So I'm going to get rid of this one. Then I have these two powders by Natural Collection. I actually really like these, so I'm going to keep these. I have this CoverGirl powder foundation. You can see I've used a lot of it. I really like this. I have my Rimmel Stay Matte powder in Sandstorm, another one of my favorites. And I have this e.l.f. pressed powder. I think the color is a little bit off. It's a little too yellow for me. But I really like the powder, so I'm going to keep it. Hopefully I can use it during the summer. Then I have the New York Color BB powder. This is actually a really good powder, but unfortunately it's just too dark. I never reach for it because it doesn't look so dark on camera, but on my face it's super dark. So I'm going to get rid of this one. Then I have two BH Studio Pro powders, and I have kind of mixed feelings about these because these oxidize so bad on my face. So I really want to like them, but I don't really know. I really like the coverage that these powders give me, but they oxidize so bad. I think I'm going to keep them for now. Hopefully in the summertime I can use them. Then I have my 2 Maybelline Fit Me powders. You guys see me use these all the time. I love them. And finally I have this Lancome powder. And you guys, this is way too dark. I'm going to get rid of this one. I actually bought this in the airport in Newark in New Jersey. When I was traveling home from New York. But yeah, it's way too dark, and also I hate the fucking scent of this. It's so heavily scented, and that is why I don't fuck with a lot of Lancome products, because everything is so fucking scented and my allergies just go crazy. Then this powder by W7, let me just show it to you. Like, this is so dark and the undertone is kind of off. So I'm going to get rid of this one. I have this L'Oreal True Match Mineral Foundation, and this is in the color C2. So it's a bit too pink tone for me, so that's why I never use it. Sinead Katie, aka the makeup chair, she uses it in almost every tutorial she does. And so I really want to love this, but I just really can't figure out how to use it because the color is so wrong for me. So I really don't know about this one. I don't know whether I should keep it or whether I should just get rid of it already. Okay, since I'm doubting it, I'm going to keep it just in case. Then in here I have my e.l.f. HD powder that I'm going to keep. I just recently bought this. So far I'm not too crazy about it, but I have to try it out some more. And I have this Ben Nye Neutral Set powder. I absolutely hate this. This looks so bad on my fucking under eye. I know a lot of people love this, but I hate it. I don't know what's wrong with my skin, but this and my skin just doesn't mix well. Then I have my Clinique loose powder that I love, and I have this Natural Collection powder. I haven't really used this one much, so I'm going to keep it, try it out some more. So I have these 2 powders by Ben Nye. As you guys can see, the Cameo is my favorite. I also do like Banana, but as you guys can see, it's way too dark for me, so I have to mix it. But I like these 2 powders and I'm going to keep them. And in here I just have a mixture of my Ben Nye Cameo and Banana powder that I'm going to keep. Then I have my e.l.f. Under Eye Setting powder. I love this stuff, it's so good. And by the way, if you think that the e.l.f. Under Eye High Definition powder is the same as the regular high definition powder, it's not. This one is way better. And finally I have the Banana Dreams powder by W7, and of course this is a dupe for the Ben Nye banana powder, and I think I'm going to get rid of this one just because I don't need 2 banana powders, and this one is so fucking messy. Okay, so in here I have all my bronzers and all my liquid face products. So let's start in the back. So I have this Honolulu Loose Bronzing Powder by W7. I actually really like this, but I already have it in the pressed version, and for me it's just so much more convenient with the pressed version than the loose version, and that just means I never ever reach for this, so I'm going to get rid of this one. Then I have these 2 by New York Color. I love these. I have this natural bronzer by Rimmel. This looks so beautiful, but it turns out very orange on my skin, but overall I do like this bronzer. You just have to be aware that it's very orange. I also have this Milani bronzer, and this one is pretty decent, so I'm going to keep that. I also have this face powder by e.l.f. in the color Honey, and I use this as a bronzer and it works so well. The lid came off. As you can see, I've hit pan on this one, and I truly do love this. So I don't like this powder as a face powder, but I love it as a bronzing powder. I also have a Chocolate Soleil by Too Faced, and of course this is an iconic product and it's so good. And the Chocolate Soleil actually smells like chocolate, but I don't know, I like the chocolate scent. Like all Lancome's products, they kind of smell like roses or flowers or something, and it drives me nuts. But I don't mind when things are chocolate scented. Then I have these 2 Master Sculpts by Maybelline. These are some of my all-time favorite bronzing and contour powders. Then I have the Balm Bahama Mama, which I really like. And I have the W7 Hollywood Bronzer and Glow. Really like the bronzer in here, also really like the highlight. Then over here I have the Honolulu, as I just told you, and I'm going to keep this one. I also have the Africa, this is also by W7, I love this. Then I have these two bronzing pearls by Natural Collection, and I think I'm going to get rid of these two, just because they are so shimmery and kind of light, even too light for my skin tone, so they don't really work as bronzers, and as highlights they're way too dark for me. And also I like the whole idea of the pearls, but in reality it's messy and it's not convenient. So I have two pressed bronzers by Natural Collection that I'm going to keep. I love the color of this one. As you can see, it's kind of a burnt, kind of reddish color. It's so pretty, and I also really like this color as well. Then I have two bronzers by e.l.f. So this one in the color Warm Tan is so beautiful. It's such a beautiful shimmery bronzer. However, this one in Sunkissed, it's just, this one is no good, because this one is a straight up gold, and it doesn't look good when I try to bronze with this. It might look really pretty as a highlight, but of course it's way too dark for me to use as a highlight, so I'm going to get rid of this one. And then finally I have this mineral bronzer by e.l.f. I love this, going to keep it. Then over here I have my NARS Laguna bronzer that I love, and all the other ones are actually by e.l.f. So this one is called Turks and Caicos. I haven't really used this one much, so I'm going to keep it, try it out some more. This one is the Warm Bronzer by e.l.f. This is not one of my favorites, just because it is so golden, but I'll have to try it out some more to form a complete opinion on it. Then I have the Golden Bronzer, and again I kind of have the same problem with this one. So I'm going to keep it, try it out some more. Then I have this matte bronzer and blush duo in the color Fiji. Love this. I also have this one in the color Antigua. Super pretty. And finally I have the e.l.f. Cool Bronzer, which I love. Then I have this e.l.f. Cream Blush. So this is old and I don't ever reach for this, but actually the color is so pretty and I really like the texture. It's kind of like Play-Doh, but I think I'll have to give this one up just because it's old and I don't reach for it. Then I have this cream bronzer by W7. This is the bomb. It's a good dupe for the Chanel cream bronzer. And I have this cushion bronzer by L'Oreal. Love this stuff. I'm going to show you real quick. It looks like this. So over here I have this Stay Matte Blushed by Rimmel. Haven't really used this one yet, so I'll have to use it and see what I think. I have this Good to Glow highlighter by Rimmel. This is so pretty. I have this e.l.f. Shimmering Facial Whip in the color Spotlight. This is so gorgeous, and I believe this is $1. This is amazing. I highly recommend it. I also have it in a pink color. I think I'm going to get rid of this just because it is highly shimmery, and I don't really want my blushes to be highly shimmery. Then I have the NARS Orgasm Illuminator. Really like this. I also have this little cream blush by Natural Collection. Haven't used this one that much, so I'll have to try it out some more to see what I think. Then I have the e.l.f. Shimmering Facial Whip in a kind of peachy color that I'm going to keep. And I have this Primark Bronze Highlighting Stick, it's called. And this one is so terrible. It almost doesn't apply any product, and it's so hard to blend out. I don't like this at all, so I'm getting rid of it. Then over here I have this Maybelline Master Glaze, and even though it says glaze, it's not a super shimmery blush, so I'm definitely going to keep this. I really like it. And I have Three Stains by W7. I don't know about these, I'm not really that into them, but oh, the packaging is actually so cute. I think I'm going to keep these. I also have a highlighter. Again, I need to try this out some more. And then I have 3 of the e.l.f. All Over Color Sticks. And I'm going to get rid of all 3 because these are more colorful and they are highly shimmery. And as I said, I don't want my, my cream blushes to be super shimmery. So I think this is how I'm going to store my bronzers and cream products for now. Okay, so finally we have all my blushes and my highlights. So let's start out with the blushes in the back. So I have all these blushes by Wet n Wild. And I'm going to get rid of this one because this is the old packaging. But yeah, I'm going to keep all of these. All of these are actually so good. I love these blushes. Then I have this little NYX baked blush. And this is actually really good, so I'm going to keep that. I also have a Jordana blush that I love so much. Then I have a CoverGirl blush that I also love. Then I have this Biokura Beauty blush. This is also really good. I have this Technique Baked Hearts blusher. This is a little bit too shimmery for my taste. And the color payoff isn't quite right. But the packaging is so cute, so I'm going to keep it. Then I have this little 3D blush contour by LA Colors. And actually this is so bomb. And then I also have this little highlighting palette by The Balm. I love this. So over here I have one more Jordana blush. Then I have 3 blushes by Natural Collection. I haven't used these much, but from what I remember, these are good, so I'm going to keep them. I also have 3 blushes by Technique. These are also pretty decent. I'm going to keep these. Then I have these 3 boxed blushes by W7. These aren't my favorites, but again the packaging is so fucking cute, so I'll have to keep these. Then I have this Milani blush that I love, and I have this matte blusher by Technique that I haven't really used much, so I'll have to use this one some more. I have my Tarte blush that I love. Then I have this NARS Deep Throat blush, and this is probably my most favorite blush ever. Then I have 2 blushes by e.l.f. Really like these 2. And finally I have a little Cinderella blush. Again, I'm keeping this one just for the fucking packaging, so cute. So now let's go through the highlighters. So I have these 2 big highlighters by Wet n Wild. These are actually really good. They are a little bit too dark for me, but I can make it work. They are so shimmery, I love them. I also have this Reserve Your Cabana, which is more of a subtle highlight. I really like this one. Then I have this one by W7. It's called Let's Glow. I don't like this one. It's very chalky and glittery. So I'm not going to keep this one. Then I have this Cinderella highlight by Essence. This is so beautiful. It is so gorgeous. Then I have my Becca highlighter, which unfortunately this is a bit too dark for me. But it's so beautiful. It's so pretty. So the way I use this is that I mix it in with other highlighters that are lighter. Again, the same with this Milani Tantastic. It is so pretty, but it is a bit too dark for me. But the glow on this one is insane. Then I have 2 by e.l.f. I love both of these. And I also have this Rimmel. This is actually an eyeshadow, but I use it as a highlighter and I love it. Then I have this highlighter by Technique, and I haven't really used this one much. It looks kind of like the MAC highlighters. I mean, so far it looks kind of pretty. So I think I'll keep this and try it out some more. Then I have my MAC Lightscapade that I love. I have Mary Luminizer by The Balm. Love this. It's a classic, iconic product. I have Glowco Motion by W7. This is a great dupe for the Mary Luminizer. It works basically the same way, in my opinion. It's basically the same thing. I have my NARS Albatross. I haven't used this in a hot minute. But I should, because it's really pretty. And finally I have this e.l.f. shimmer in the color pink, apparently. I don't really... I don't know about that. Yeah, I'm going to get rid of this one. It's kind of chalky and not super shimmery. So that was the final drawer. Okay, so let's take a moment to look at all the things I actually managed to declutter. I definitely did way better today than I did yesterday with my lip makeup, but I think that's because I'm more picky with the way that I choose my face makeup. I really want my skin to look a certain way, like I'm really into full coverage, and there are other things that I'm really not into, like loose powders. That are too messy. I just can't handle it, because if it's too messy I'm just not going to reach for it. But yeah, that was a pretty good decluttering, and I got a lot of good feedback from you guys in yesterday's declutter video. So I am going to do a giveaway. I'm going to shine these things up a little bit, and I'm going to do a giveaway for you all. But yeah, anyways, that is all. Look out for the third and final installment in this little series, which is going to be all my eye makeup. That is going to go up sometime next week. So as always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in my next video. So take care and bye bye.